Hello YouTube, this is MusicDude14Z, and I am finally back. So, I'm here with Redstone tutorial number 6, and my recorder works. As you can probably see, it's a lot higher quality than it's been. It's not all blocky, and the audio is still good, so that's great. And I also now have a schedule, so it's not like you're guessing when the next video comes out. Redstone tutorials are going to come out every single Wednesday. That's the idea. And if you're interested, I have a Technics survival series thing that's going to be coming out on Mondays and Sundays and Fridays. So yeah, that's the recording schedule now. So yeah, so here today with Redstone episode number 6, we're going to be doing and NAND gates. So here's the truth table for an AND gate, and we can see that when you have both inputs as true, you get a final input as true or on or whatever you want to call it, and for all other input possibilities, you get off. So now we're going to go switch worlds, and we're going to go see how some of these gates are made. Alright, so here we are, ready to make our first AND gate. So let's go over the basic principles. You have your two inputs, and you want this to be on only when both of these are on. In any other case, it needs to be off. So let's think about this. Well, what's so special about signals when both are on? Can we really identify that? Not really. But can we identify when both are off? Yes. So let's make it so that, well actually let's do it this way. Let's make it so that we negate each signal. So the only time both are on is when both of them are actually off. So the only time both are off is when they're both actually on. So watch, both torches are only off when they're both on. Okay, with that basic piece of logic, we can make an AND gate and now this is only going to be on when both of these are off, because this is another, okay, that sounded really weird. I said make an AND gate to make an AND gate. This is more like we made an OR gate, so it's only going to be true if both of these are off, because it's a NOR gate. So if both inputs are off, you get true, and then we negate it to make it an OR gate. So now, when both this and this are off, you get a true here. So now it's an OR gate, if that makes sense. That sounds a little bit confusing, but basically we took the negated signals, I do that every video. We take the negated signals, and we make an OR gate and negate that. So now we have a NOR gate attached to two NOT gates. And we can see, when I turn one on, this goes off, but it's still powered from this one. But if I turn the other one on, now both are off, so there's no power, so this guy goes on, and we get a signal. But then if I were to turn this one off, well actually I had it the other way. So if I turn this one off, you'll see the lamp is still off. So let's look at some basic designs for making a gate like this. Here's basically what we just made, just a little bit more condensed, and it works. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I promise all of these work. But yeah, if you flip both of these, this guy will go on. Here's another one. This is a little bit more confusing to look at, so I'm going to show it to you. So you've got this one goes in and negates right here, and then the other one goes in and negates this guy, and then both these signals combine here with a NOT gate to make that negated OR gate. So it's just a little more condensed. It's in two rows. Here's a vertical one that's pretty popular, I think. Basically, this negation goes to this torch, which goes into this block down here, as you can see. And then this one goes into this torch, which drops down 2 blocks below. Well, technically it's not 2 blocks below. It looks like that. It's 1 block and then down here. And then that toggles the case of this switch, which then I just brought the power down here. You don't need to have this. You could just put the block right here if you wanted. But you know, it's just expanded a little bit so you can see what's happening. Alright, here's a mechanical gate. So you'll see with these gates, you didn't see it with the OR gates because it just didn't really make a lot of sense. But with a lot of the more complex gates, they simplify the gate. It's not quite as small, but gates are simplified by using pistons, because pistons have really cool logic systems. So as we learned, a repeater will give power to redstone only if a block is in between, like here. Like you could put redstone there, it would work. But for this redstone to get power from this repeater, there needs to be a block here. And that's toggled with this switch. Or there's just no power going through this block. So that's one version of a mechanical OR gate. AND gate, sorry. Here's another version of a one horizontal gate, so it's only vertical. And it works on a similar principle. The negations are here and here, and this one goes into this one, and then this goes to this, and then down into this one. So it's basically the same idea, just a little bit. I think it's a little bit shorter than that one. Alright, so here's another version of a mechanical one that I thought was kind of cool. This block cuts off the redstone, because you know when there's a solid block, the redstone can't connect. So when this goes like this, nothing happens. But when you trigger it, it leaves that open space, and the piston arm is considered a transparent block, so then the redstone does connect. Alright, and let's look at the final AND gate, which is also mechanical. See, since this is transparent, the power doesn't go through it. But then, when we do this, it will turn this off, bringing this block up, allowing power to go through. And yes, I did change this to stone. It would work just fine with grass, I just happened to change it to stone. It wouldn't work with glass or something, though, that's transparent also. Yes, I like a lot of the gates. I think all gates almost. But some of them, like Redstone, aren't. But this one is expandable to multiple inputs. And the principle is the light will only go on if all, as you can see, I'll fly so you can see it. It won't go on until all the lights are turned off. All the inputs are turned on. So an AND gate for multiple inputs requires all inputs to be on. Okay, guys. So as we can see, as opposed to the AND gate, in which only when both inputs are on is it true, the NAND gate is the exact opposite, hence the N, not AND. So all other possibilities are true, but when an AND gate would have been true, the NAND gate is false. So it's a pretty simple gate, as you can see. It's actually easier to build in Minecraft than the AND gate, and you'll see why. Let's go to that right now. Okay, let's get designing. So, that sounded really cheesy. Alright, so let's start with our AND gate that I built before. So that's our AND gate, right? So let's put it up here. So that would be an AND gate. So let's negate it, because we saw it's the exact opposite. So there we go. That should work. And only when both are on will the lamp go off. But a lot of you guys are out there thinking back to the first lesson, one of the first lessons, and going, wait, that's a double NOT gate. That just keeps the same signal as over here. So why don't we just get rid of it and make it just redstone? And you are absolutely correct, because that is exactly what we want to do. So that's why it's simpler to make, because all it is two NOT gates and an OR gate instead of a NOR gate. So it's one less negation. So it's also faster. Let's keep moving. So here is a very small design, which is this, with less of a long arm, because there's less, it's just the same thing, condensed. So yeah, that works. We already know that works. I don't need to show you that. Here is the same thing as we saw over there, one of the AND gates, except without a torch right here. It has redstone. So it's actually the same size, it's just one less negation instead of torch into redstone. So here's the same idea as the one we had before, except without meeting up at one point. They both go to separate NOT gates and then just make an OR gate. Here's a vertical one. This gate is a lot smaller, so it's a really nice, easy vertical. It just goes straight into a block and does that. And this one goes straight over a block and turns on or off. And also, the NAND gate is expandable to many inputs. As you can see, the principle is the light is only off, or the output's only off when all inputs are on. So it's the inverse of a multiple input AND gate. And that's pretty much it. NAND gates are a hell lot simpler than AND gates. Alright, so tune in next Wednesday for the next tutorial. And this is Music Dude 14Z, and I'm signing out. See you guys.